now 2 weeks ago, not last week. Not the most recent week, but the week before last. And I wore a Morehouse tie on Howard's campus, and they're like one of our rivals.
Politics, Terrance Carroll interview.
Take one. George Washington, in his farewell speech, warned the nation, and put aside all the problematic things with George Washington, but he has said some things that were fairly important from time to time, like he warned us about the dangers of party politics when he left office at the end of his presidency. And he said, at some point, political parties will get to the point where people are more concerned about protecting their party and their party ideology than they are about the democracy, about the republic, about the nation. Today's event was the Get Out to Vote rally for the Colorado Black Roundtable and some other groups in the Black community, trying to encourage and inspire Black folks to get out and vote. I'm the former Speaker of the House of this great state. I was the first, and to date, unfortunately, the only African American to ever serve as Speaker of the House. I was born and raised in Washington, D.C., to a single mother in Southeast D.C., and I got into politics because my mother used to drag me everywhere when I was a kid. This is Corinne Dimple Carroll. She's the woman who raised me, a Black woman, a single Black woman who never finished the 3rd grade, the granddaughter of a formerly enslaved person who worked on her hands and knees her entire life. She was very involved in things in our community and in terms of getting people elected, going to community meetings, advocating for the betterment of our community. So I guess I kind of grew up understanding that the price of living on this earth is actually giving back. I vote because she set a standard for me, an obligation, a responsibility for me to ensure that my community was always first and foremost in my mind. I've always prided myself in being transparent in my politics. I'm transparent in my relationships with people generally, and also in the language that I use in regards to politics. And I think people appreciate the fact that, as a general rule, I'm not going to use dehumanizing language. As a general rule, I'm not just going to call you names for the sake of calling you names. And as a general rule, I try to show everyone a little bit of grace and a little bit of mercy because I'm a Baptist preacher. And I had a Master of Divinity degree before I had a JD degree. And when I first went to the legislature, I was pastoring the entire first 4 years I was in the legislature. I've been a Democrat my entire life. I'm Democratic born, Democratic bred, and when I die, I'll be Democratic dead. But my first obligation is to this republic. And then my first obligation is to making sure that folks have the right to vote for whoever they want to vote for. I may not like who they vote for, but the commitment is to making sure that they get to vote.